Right guys, so in Rfactor 2 and the new British touring car Astra, and I've no idea what to expect here. This is the first time having a little spin in it, and I have to say, just from doing like the little warm-up laps in practice, like I've done about 3 scoping laps, and initial thoughts are this car is very, very good. Now, I've also noticed here it's raining, right, and I've never driven in the wet in Rfactor 2, so let's see how this one goes. I have to say I am quite impressed with the British touring cars, particularly the front wheel drives. I mean the rear wheel drive ones are great as well, but the front wheel drives are really good. Anyone that's driven around like a high performance kind of hot hatch over the years with a limited slip diff on the front will instantly relate to how these handle. It's like the steering wheel is pulling from the front with the diff obviously engaging it. I can tell you from owning a car in with a front LSD, it's very accurate. But all the sims do it really well, but I have to say, when it comes to BTCC and how it's modelled here in a, you know, what feels like a high power touring car, it's very, very good. Very impressive. Oh, skipped across a bump there on the brakes. Nearly took the two of them out. The Astra itself, I have to say, does feel really nice to drive as well. It's right at home with the other front wheel drives. Nice little sound to it. I know they all sound very similar with the same engine and stuff, but they do have like little differences. Yeah, sounds great, looks great. And yeah, being Jason Plato for the day, eh? But yeah, this is the type of offline AI that, you know, as a sim racer you'd really want. Now, I am going to do some LFM with Rfactor as well, but I always say that in order to get people hooked on a sim, the offline has to be pretty good. And I have to say, the AI here is pretty decent. And I believe they kind of adopt as well, like once you know, people say if you do a few like practice laps and stuff like that before the race, they will sort of adopt to your pace. Now, my pace wouldn't be anywhere near the top guys at the moment. I haven't even got into doing setups on these cars yet. So it's very much like just arrive, drive with whatever kind of default set is on the car. But yeah, when I get into LFM, like no doubt I will have to start thinking about setups a little bit. But Rostock Ridge maybe over the next couple of days. But yeah, I have to say, like, you know, I've spent a lot of time tweaking the force feedback on these cars, and I've, you know, what I thought was final today, I've made even more changes to. So, you know, finally I think I've got the force feedback to an acceptable level. Basically what I'd done was, rather than going by feel, what I'd done is I recorded and logged some laps into Motec from Rfactor, and basically what it was doing was looking at the steering rack torque, and from there I was able to see was it matching the output of the steering wheel, and it wasn't really. It was clipping a bit, truth be told. Not the DD2, the actual signal. So the DD2 and any wheelbase for that matter will reproduce a signal that's output to its USB port, right? But the thing is, if the raw signal coming out of the game is too, let's say, too noisy, too amplified, the signal itself can start to clip, never mind by the time it gets to your wheelbase. So what I done was I reduced the feedback setting in game down to 50%. The car multiplier is still at 100 or whatever. This is the general setting down to 50%. And in Fanatec, I have my DD2 at 65% now with the peak setting instead of linear. And what that done basically was it was giving me a dynamic range on the force feedback from anywhere from really 2 to 3 Newton meters all the way through to 11-ish, 12 sometimes if you hit a curb like really badly. But for most driving, it was probably in around, you know, that 7 to 10 Newton meter range on the front wheel drive, and maybe half a Newton meter less on rear wheel drives. So the BMW, the Infinity, and the only time it went above that was when they were in a bit of a slide. So yeah, I finally took a scientific approach to Rfactor 2 force feedback. Only took a week, but we're there. One lap to go. And Smiley is the target. Great battle. Very good AI, I have to say. Oh. Alright, getting swallowed up now. 2 positions gone. Or 1 position gone. Anyone that's watched this channel will know that I'm a big fan of the World Touring cars in Race Room as well. They're also very good. But I have to say, given Rfactor 2, now that I've kind of sorted out the force feedback, and given the modern looking graphics and the fact that we've got day, night and rain cycles and all of that stuff, auto finish. That was good. That was good. But yeah, as I was saying, like, I mean, the you know, I'm starting to really like the BTCC, the touring cars in Rfactor 2. I think they're really good. They're really good. So this was the start of the race. Lovely rain. And yeah, P1 got a terrible start, didn't he? 44. But yeah, so again, like I had been using Race Room for my touring car fix, but you know, truth be told, I probably will transition a bit more to Rfactor 2. You know, the force feedback, like I say, it took me a long time to get to a decent enough setting. I'll probably still tweak it, but it's probably 90% of where I want it to be. And like I say, it took the best part of a week to 2 weeks to get there. And I shouldn't have had to spend that much time, but I did, and I have, and it's done. So, you know, whatever. Next up, tomorrow and the next day, I might just dial in the Porsche 992 Cup car again, because I do think that drives really well. And it's probably going to get more attention than the one in ACC, because, you know, as an ACC player mainly, people that play ACC tend only to focus on GT3s, so the Porsche gets kind of, you know, ignored. And then the other car I want to kind of get sorted is the Orica LMP2, and maybe the Van Wall LMH. So once I get those done, I'll be happy enough. With the rest of the cars, I can take or leave because of a lot going on already. Sim racing, right? I do a bit of AMS2 for fun, so I'll drive any type of car, any track, and that sim. ACC is my main competitive sim with GT3s, but to be honest, I can see myself starting to do a bit of LFM, online competition type stuff in these touring cars. I definitely can't see that happen. They drive fantastic. The new Astra, it looks great, and yeah, over the last while, since the upgrade graphically as well, Rfactor just seem to be doing what they should do. There's still a bit to go, of course. There's still a few niggles that I don't really like, but on balance overall, I think it's a really good sim for touring cars. Like I say, there's a couple of single seaters in the game and stuff that are just, you need to really up the car specific multiplier to get any sort of usable force feedback, and even then, I'm not a massive fan, to be honest. But the latest stuff, like anything that's been updated recently, like any new releases like the BTCC and the GTEs, I think were updated 4 or 5 months ago along with the Orica, and now we've got new Bridgestone tyre model apparently on some of the cars, including these. So yeah, a lot of positive stuff going on with the guys at Studio 397. So yeah, to be honest with everyone, I did start out kind of dumping on this sim maybe over the past month, and rightly so, to be honest, because the stuff that I've gone through to get this to work correctly, nobody should have to go through. And even as I record this video, there's one of the lads that I race in the league with, seen a couple of my videos on Rfactor 2 over the last week or so, or a couple of weeks, and he's downloaded it again. He has a bit of content. He has a Simucube, and even he is struggling to get it up and running. So yeah, tomorrow or something or whatever, I'm gonna jump on Discord with him and literally go through the setup, because and this guy's an experienced sim racer, like yeah, it is what it is, guys. JSON file edits and settings per car and all that stuff. And what I'm going to do for anyone that has Fanatec wheelbases to help you lot out, what I'm going to do, there's going to be a shared OneDrive folder that I'm going to use for anything that I'm going to share on the channel, like whether it's setups or settings or whatever it might be. So I'm going to have in an Rfactor 2 folder my profile that I'm running inside of Fanalab for this, so everything from damper settings, the force feedback settings, all of that. And in addition to that, I'm going to copy in my config file in Rfactor, so the JSON file for the control INI, or the controller file rather. So all you've got to do is just copy that, pop it into your controller folder in Rfactor 2 and select that as the profile. I've made some edits to jolt and rumble strip effect. People say that some of it is not applicable anymore. That may be the case, but for me personally, there was a few differences, notably, by the way, when you crashed into a wall and stuff like that, or hit a really hard curb. The steering wheel wasn't about to rip your hand off, so stuff like that. But anyway, we'll leave it there, guys. Yeah, consider me converted to Rfactor 2 as far as the BTCC is concerned. Over the next few days, I'm going to try and convert myself to the Porsche 992. It's in ACC, of course, but to be perfectly honest, I've never fully clicked with it in ACC. It's a fun car, but just missing something, It doesn't. I don't know. I've driven it in Rfactor 2, and I think the Rfactor 2 one appears to be a bit nicer to drive. It's easier to drive. It's more bit more relaxed, just a nicer experience. Yeah, and then like I say, once I'm done with that, I'm going to jump onto the Le Mans prototypes that I mentioned. But yeah, leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching, and yeah, on to LFM, and yeah, let's do a few races, I guess. These are great, and yeah, see you on track soon.